for the last 71 years, we've watched some of the greatest moments in sports history.
The Celtics now lead 45. And West with a long jump. Russell deflected it and keeps it. Beautiful play. Feeds off quickly to Havlicek. Has been guarded by Krebs, who is holding back. Goes up. They jump long. Cousy throws it high in the air. And the Boston Celtics are the world champions. Oscar Robertson throws to Kareem. 7 seconds. Winkle. The guy up. Kareem with a big pressure shot.
Hayes setting something up with Larry Bird, who gets it low. Puts a move on Byron Scott. What a move by Larry Bird. Malone is doubled. They swat at it and steal it. Here comes Chicago. 17 seconds. 17 seconds from Game 7 or from championship number 6. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead. It's Kobe again.
This fall, I'm gonna take my time to South Beach. Join Miami.
James pulls up, puts it in, 4-point lead. 35 for LeBron James. Timeout San Antonio.
It's off the runner, defended by Simmons. Is this the dagger?
But what if we went all the way back and redid it? Today is the year 1982. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of NBA 2K History Resimulation. Hope you guys are enjoying the series. If you are, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. Also, if you guys hit that 300 like mark, I will go ahead and upload the 1985 NBA season video. So hit that like button so you guys can check out the next video, which, I mean, really, we're going to get 1 year of Michael Jordan in this episode, but then the next 3 will be obviously next episode. So if you guys want to see that, definitely hit that like button. Also down below, comment down below what your guys' top 5 of all time is in the comments below. And also, let me know what you guys think is going to happen in real life in the NBA. As I'm recording this, the Pacers actually are up on the Lakers by nearly 20. 56-38. Absolutely insane. I did pick the Pacers to win. I didn't think it'd be a blowout. I think New York makes this thing close, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think is going to happen in the conference finals. Also, we know Dallas did win Game 7. I was right on that one. Or Game 6, I mean. And as a Nuggets fan, I am stressed, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm recording because I've been freaking out all day. And I needed to do something. So, yeah, I'm not even excited. I'm just stressed. Anyways, let's get on to it. 1982 NBA season. The Kansas City Kings just won the NBA Finals, beating the Atlanta Hawks. The Hawks have lost 2 of the last 3 NBA Finals, and they've lost 3 NBA Finals in their franchise history. The Kings win their 4th NBA title in franchise history, but the first 3 were with the Royals, the Rochester Royals twice, the Cincinnati Royals once. So they are, they ended up winning their 4th NBA title. They ended up losing, let's see, 1, 2, 3. They lost 3, so they're 4-3 as a franchise in the NBA Finals, and obviously Magic Johnson with one of the best seasons in NBA history, winning Finals MVP and regular season MVP in the same year. He didn't even win Rookie of the Year just 2 years ago. He's in year 3, and he did all of this in year 3. Pretty impressive. It is a really good team, but still pretty impressive. Also in this video, we're going to be switching over to the Magic Bird era. So it's going to be a little different with, stats and all of that. So just bear with me. You guys will understand, but it does make the videos better because of, you know, of how the eras work and everything. It's a lot easier for me to record these videos as well. So I will be switching over. I'm just going to take the player DNA from each player and put it into their own player in the, you know, 1983 roster. And then I will trade them to their correct team. So it's going to be a little weird. And especially with players retiring at, you know, right around this stage, it's a little, it's different, unfortunately. But, you know, that's what we got to do with these videos. So anyways, let's go over to player retirements. That's why, by the way, I do the Google Sheets, right? So in the description, if you guys didn't know about the Google Sheets, click on that link. It will take you to the Google Sheets where it'll show you the whole history. Just know that in this video, you know, it's going to have, if you click on it now, it's going to have the next, you know, all 3 years. So don't get it spoiled, right? Unless you want to spoil it. I don't know if you guys want to do that. But if you guys do, you know, just don't look at the final 3 years, I guess. But here we go. So Lou Hudson, Cazzie Russell, Pat Riley, Borwinkle, JoJo White, who was the finals MVP at some point back in, what year was that? 1976 with the Bullets. He retires as well. So we'll head to the Hall of Fame, where he is the only player to make it to the Hall of Fame. 18 points per game over the course of his career, 7 assists, 8-time All-Star, 4-time champion, 1-time finals MVP, 1-time All-NBA, first team and second team, twice third team, and then all defensive first team twice and all defensive second team 3 times. 4 championships. I know obviously he won with the Bullets. Did he win twice with the Bullets? I don't know. It's obvious with the years not matched up. It's kind of hard to tell, but he did win. I think he did. I think he won all three with the Bullets. He might have. Because then he spent the rest of... did Houston win? I don't think so. So he won 3 in a row with the Bullets, with Spencer Haywood, Dave Cowens, and him. And then he won the one 2 years ago with the San Diego Clippers with Dr. J. So, and Lester count. Actually, you know what? No. He only won twice with the Bullets. He won twice with the Clippers and Braves, is probably what it was. But, anyways. Oh my. The Phoenix Suns didn't win a game. Who's on the Phoenix Suns? Oh, nobody. Eddie Johnson. Oh my. All right. That's a little unfortunate for the Phoenix Suns. So they will have an opportunity here to get the #1 overall pick. It will be between them and the New Jersey Nets. Man, that's to lose every single game. Yikes. All right. Anyways, the Phoenix Suns will be heads. The New Jersey Nets will be tails. The #1 overall pick goes to the Phoenix Suns. You know, that feels right. Here in the 1982 NBA draft, the #1 overall pick selected by the Phoenix Suns will be Dominique Wilkins. So a big-time player heads to Phoenix. The New Jersey Nets with pick #2, they select Clark Kellogg. At #3, the Chicago Bulls will select Terry Cummings. At 4, the Indiana Pacers will select James Worthy. At 5, the Denver Nuggets select Quentin Daly. At 6, the LA Lakers will select Fat Lever. At 7, the Golden State Warriors will select Ricky Pierce. At 8, the Houston Rockets will trade this pick for Pete Maravich and Elvin Hayes, 2 older players. And the Bulls will receive the first-round pick here. And they select Terry Teagle. Interesting. The New York Knicks, they select... Nope, they're trading it for Sobers. All right. And they will select Mike Sanders, or the Lakers will select Mike Sanders. And at 10, the Boston Celtics select Sleepy Floyd. Here in free agency, a couple players still haven't been signed, but we will look at the sign here. Larry Bird returns to the Detroit Pistons. Oh, Seattle's going crazy. Okay, Seattle just signed Moses Malone and George Gervin. Whoa. Okay, so that team's going to be really good. They just won a championship 3 years ago. Kareem is no longer on that team, who obviously won Finals MVP, but this is a really good team. That's a hell of a duo. So Magic and the Kings have competition out west. Billy Knight, he goes to LA, so he leaves Seattle. So Seattle basically traded Billy Knight for George Gervin and Malone, so that's pretty impressive. Michael Ray Richardson goes to stays with the Rockets. Michael Thompson returns to the Kings. The Hawks re-sign Maurice Cheeks. Purvis Short resigns in Denver. Reggie Theus resigns in Detroit. Michael Cooper resigns in Philly. So we'll see. I mean, the Kings are really good. Michael Thompson's back. They're obviously still a very good team. Detroit is going to be better. Seattle is going to be really good. This could be an interesting year. Magic Johnson wins back-to-back regular season MVPs, averaging 21, 8, and 11 this season with 1.6 steals per game, shooting nearly 57% from the field. Dominique wins Rookie of the Year, averaging 26 and 6. Jamal Wilkes is your Sixth Man of the Year again, 27 and 5. That is Wilkes' fourth, I believe, Sixth Man of the Year. Bill Walton wins DPOY, 2014 and 5, 3 blocks and a steal. And that is his second Defensive Player of the Year award. Frankie Johnson wins Most Improved, and Isaiah Thomas wins Clutch Player of the Year, averaging 22 and 8.8 assists per game. On to all NBA first team here: Magic Johnson, Ray Williams, Dr. J, Adrian Dantley, and Bill Walton. All NBA second team got Mike Newlin, Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, Cliff Robinson, and Jack Sikma. Let's see, Larry Bird, 23, 9, and 9. All NBA third team got Dennis Johnson, Eddie Johnson, Chuck Robinson, Jamal Wilkes, and Artis Gilmore. All defensive first team: Magic, Mike Newlin, Kevin McHale, Dan Ranfield, and Bill Walton. Kevin McHale and Magic should be teammates. Like, that is just kind of devastating, honestly, that Kansas City did not hold on to him. Ray Williams, Michael Cooper, Dr. J, Larry Bird, and Jack Sikma round out all defensive second team. Adrian Dantley led the league in scoring for third straight year, averaging 27.7 points per game. Cliff Robinson led the league in rebounds with 15.3. Norm Nixon led the league in assists with Magic Johnson. Mike Newlin led the league in steals with 2.1. Larry Bird was second. Thomas was third. Blocks per game: Bill Walton led the league in blocks. So, on to the playoffs. Seattle is the number 1 seed. San Diego as the 2 seed. And Kansas City as the 3 seed. In the East, we got Washington at 1, Boston at 2, Atlanta at 3, and Detroit is now the 4 seed. So on to round number 2. The LA Lakers, New Jersey Nets, New York Knicks, San Antonio Spurs, Golden State Warriors, Milwaukee Bucks, Cleveland, Utah are all eliminated. So let's take a look at some of these rosters here. For Seattle, with the number 1 seed, and they won 74 games. Nate Archibald, Jeff Petrie, Alex English, George McGinnis, and Moses Malone. This team is very, very good. Moses Malone averaging 19 and 10 during the regular season. For Portland, they got Quinn Buckner, Randy Smith, Bob Wilkerson, Buck Williams, and Daryl Dawkins. For San Diego, who won 68 games, Norm Nixon, World B. Free, Dr. J, Bob McAdoo, Swen Nader, Jamal Wilkes, Rick Mahorn. This team is really, really good. How old is Dr. J? He's 32. Man, this team is really good. And then obviously Kansas City, who won at 64 games, got Magic, David Thompson, Bernard King, Dwight Jones, Michael Thompson, Darrell Griffith, Eddie Johnson. This team is also very, very good. For Washington, who won 61 games. So, man, the West is way better than the East. Lionel Hollins, Kevin Grevy, Rod Higgins, Spencer Haywood, and Artis Gilmore, with Dave Cowens coming off the bench. For Detroit, you got Ricky Green, Sidney Moncrief, Larry Bird, Len Elmore, and Bill Lambier, with Reggie Theus coming off the bench. And then for the Boston Celtics, you got T.R. Dunn, John Long, Adrian Dantley, George Johnson, Ricky Brown, and Phil Ford. And for Atlanta, Maurice Cheeks, Danny Ainge, Rudy Tomjanovich, Chuck Robinson, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, on to the conference finals. The San Diego Clippers lose again to Magic Johnson. Wow. Goodness gracious. Boston, as a 2 seed, they lose to Atlanta. Portland is eliminated, and Detroit. So Larry Bird cannot get to the conference finals. So we got Seattle as the number 1 seed with Moses Malone now versus Magic and the Kings. Got Washington versus Atlanta. It's been Washington and Atlanta the last 3 years in the East. And obviously in the West, it's been actually the Braves, the Sonics, the Clippers, and the Kings. Really, I mean, that's been, well, the Braves are and the Clippers are the same team. But Sonics, Clippers, Kings, the top 3 seeds, they've all won a championship over the last 3 years, over the last 4 years, actually, if you count the Clippers twice. So on to game number 1. Game 1 goes to Seattle and Washington. Game 2 goes to Kansas City and Atlanta. Who will win here in Game 3, Seattle or Kansas City? Can Magic get to his second straight NBA Finals, or can Seattle get back to the Finals with the addition of Moses Malone? And it goes to the Bullets are eliminated, by the way, as well. The Atlanta Hawks are on to their 3rd NBA Finals in 4 years, where they lost both times. So can they get it the 3rd time? We will see what happens. And the Seattle Supersonics are eliminated. Moses Malone can't get them over the hump, and Magic Johnson is going to his 2nd straight NBA Finals. By the way, I changed his number. 32 is taken. It's retired. It was retired recently by a Kings player. So I gave Magic number 34. Let me know in the comments below if there's any other number you guys think Magic should have. But 21 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, 11 assists, and a steal in the conference finals. Chuck Robinson with 19, 11, and 4. And we have a rematch here from last year's NBA Finals. Kings, Hawks. Let's take a look at the starting 5 here. You got Maurice Cheeks, Danny Ainge, Rudy Tomjanovich, Chuck Robinson, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. For the Kings, you got Magic, David Thompson, Bernard King, Richard Washington, and Michael Thompson. So here we go. Game number 1. Kansas City does have home court advantage, but they trail by 3 after 1. The Hawks take a 22-point lead at the half. The Kings trying to come back here, but it's not going to be enough. And the Hawks stun Kansas City in game 1. Michael Thompson with 23 and 17. Magic with 22 and 16. Chuck Robinson with 24 and 10. Maurice Cheeks with 23 and 10. And the Atlanta Hawks shock Kansas City. On to game number 2. The Kings with a 2-point lead after 1. At the half, they lead it by 10. And they lead it by 15 going into the 4th. But a huge 4th quarter by Atlanta. And they are down by just now 5 points here. Down to 2 minutes ago, they're still down by 5. 35 seconds, they're down by 4. Ooh, a 2-point game, 3-point game, 4-point game. That should do it. 121 to 117. The Kings win game 2 and avoid going down 2-0. Then going on the road. That would have been tough. A triple-double for Magic with 17, 10, and 13. Also had 4 steals and 2 blocks. David Thompson with 25, 4, and 5. Robinson with 27, 12, and 7. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with 23 in the loss. So on to game number 3, as Atlanta will be at home here, but the Kings with the 12-point lead after 1 at the half. The Kings lead it by 11, and going into the 4th quarter, they lead by 10. Can the Hawks make this thing interesting? Down to 3 minutes ago, they're down by 8. 2 minutes ago, they're down by 7. And yeah, I don't think they're going to have enough. The Kansas City Kings will take game number 3 and take home court advantage back. David Thompson with a massive 39. Bernard King with 21. Michael Thompson with 18. Magic was really quiet. Had 20 assists, though. So that helps. He also fouled out in 33 minutes. On to game number 4, once again in Atlanta. And once again, the Kings start out hot. They're up by 9 after 1, up by, 18 at the half. And then up by 21 after 3. Yeah, this is a blowout. 120 to 83. Bernard King with 37 and 6. Michael Thompson with 23 and 12. Magic with 14, 6, and 9. 5 steals as well. And the Kings have taken a 3-1 series lead. On to game number 5 in Kansas City. This series did end in 5 last year. Will it be the same this year? The Kings up by 3 at the half. And now into the 4th quarter, they lead it by 10. And down to 2.5 minutes ago, they lead it by 17. And the Kansas City Kings are going to win 2 straight NBA titles. 2-1, and that will do it The Kansas City Kings are NBA champions once again. Their 5th NBA title in franchise history. Their 2nd in Kansas City. Back-to-back for Magic Johnson. 2 regular season MVPs and 2 finals MVPs in back-to-back years. What a run for a very young Magic Johnson. He is dominating this league, and he's on a really good team. Bernard King, David Thompson, Michael Thompson. It's a very, very good team. But there you go, Magic Johnson hoisting up the Larry O'Brien Trophy. Back-to-back titles, though, for Magic is really impressive. Although Bernard King and David Thompson had both massive games in this series, be interesting to see who wins Finals MVP here in the 1983 NBA Finals. And it will be Magic Earvin Johnson. 2 straight Finals MVPs, 2 straight regular season MVPs. Man, Larry Bird's got some catching up to do because he is quickly falling behind. The Kings are back-to-back champs. Magic didn't even, 13.8 points per game, but he dominated with just his passing. 6.8 rebounds, 14 assists, 2.6 steals, and a block. He is your Finals MVP, and he joins a pretty short list of players to win 2 Finals MVPs at this point. Harry Gallatin has 2 or more. Wilt has 2 or more. He has like 4 or 5. Rick Barry has 2. Willis Reed has 2 at least. Dr. J with 2. So, yeah, a very short list of players with 2 Finals MVPs. And Magic Johnson, at the age of 23, is already on that list. Pretty impressive. Dave Bing, Jack Marin, Louis Dampier, Otto Moore, Bob Kaufman, Rick Adelman, Elvin Hayes, they all retire. Norm Van Leer retires as well. And no Hall of Famers this year. We will have some jersey retirements, though. Elvin Hayes gets his jersey retired by Chicago, Otto Moore by Phoenix, and Bob Kaufman by Houston. The Phoenix Suns and the Philadelphia 76ers had the 2 worst records in the league, and they weren't good. 8 wins between the 2 teams, so Phoenix will be heads, Philly will be tails, and the number 1 overall pick will go to the Phoenix Suns. So back-to-back years where Phoenix gets the number 1 overall pick. So with the number 1 overall pick here in the 1983 NBA Draft, the Phoenix Suns select Ralph Sampson. At number 2, Philly will take Roy Hinson. At 3, the Pacers select Dale Ellis. At 4, Houston will take Clyde Drexler. So pretty good spot there for Clyde. Obviously, he played for Houston in real life. Didn't get drafted by them, but played in Houston in real life. And at 5, the Chicago Bulls will select Jeff Malone. At 6, the Denver Nuggets will select Derek Harper. At 7, Dallas will take Byron Scott. At 8, New York will take Rodney McRae. At 9, New Jersey selects Ennis Watley. And at 10, Golden State, will take Steve Stepanovich. On to free agency here. Still a few players that haven't been signed. Magic returns to the Kings. Alex English leaves Seattle. He heads to San Antonio. Ooh, Artis Gilmore heads to Detroit. I mean, he is 33, but that's a good piece for Detroit. They'll have 2 bigs in him and Lambeer. And they're re-signing Sidney Moncrief. So a good signing there. Bill Cartwright, he goes to New Jersey. Rowan to Cleveland. Nat to Utah. So Eddie Johnson to Atlanta. Paxson to San Antonio as well. We'll see if Detroit is any better. Larry Bird wins his first regular season MVP, averaging 23, 9.7 rebounds, and 9.5 assists, 1.5 steals per game, shooting 55% from the field, 91% from free throw line, and 37% from 3. Larry Bird wins his first MVP. Ralph Sampson wins Rookie of the Year, averaging 15 and 10, 2.8 blocks for the Phoenix Suns. Jamal Wilkes wins Sixth Man of the Year, 20.6 rebounds, 5 assists for the LA Clippers, or the San Diego Clippers, excuse me. Defensive Player of the Year is Jack Sikma, 22-15, 3 blocks and a steal per game. John Bagley is your most improved player. And then, by the way, I have switched over to the Bird versus Magic era. So we're in the 83-84 season, obviously, and so there's no clutch player of the year in there or anything like that, which is cool. Okay, so all NBA first team: Magic Johnson, Ray Williams, Larry Bird, Adrian Dantley, and Jack Sikma. Ray Williams is out 6 to 8 weeks with a high sprained ankle. All NBA second team, we got Isaiah Thomas, Michael Ray Richardson, Dr. J, Dan Issel, and Artis Gilmore. By the way, if they're, I tried to make sure that the rosters are correct. If you guys notice anything that's out of place or doesn't make sense or something's off or there's a duplicate player, let me know in the comments below if you guys catch anything. I've gone over a few times. I think everything is good, but let me know in the comments. Also, let me know in the comments how the contracts, if like there's anything I should adjust with the salary cap so that it doesn't break in the future. So let me know in the comments below if you guys have any tips or anything like that. Okay, so Walter Davis, Nate Archibald, Kiki Vandeweghe, Chuck Robinson, and Jeff Ruland on the All-NBA third team. All defensive first team: Michael Ray Richardson, Magic Johnson, Kevin McHale, Dr. J, and Jack Sikma. All defensive second team, we got Sidney Moncrief, Michael Cooper, Bobby Jones, Dan Issel, and Artis Gilmore. Here's your all-rookie first team: Clyde Drexler, averaging 16, 4, and 5 in Houston. Jeff Malone, averaging 18, 4, and 4 in Chicago. Denver with Derek Harper, 8 points and 8 assists per game. And Watley for the Nets. Kiki Vandeweghe led the league in scoring, averaging 29 points per game. Jack Sikma led the league in rebounds. Norm Nixon led the league in assists per game. Ricky Green led the league in steals, and Tree Rollins led the league in blocks per game. So, on to the playoffs. The amount of games are fixed. We're all good to go. I love getting to this point of this series. It's so much fun, not only because the Bird and Magic era, Michael's coming into the league and all that, but like just how they do everything with the eras. I love it. So, the Clippers do have the 1 seed in the West. Norm Nixon will be free. Dr. J, Swen Nader, Bob McAdoo. By the way, Julius Erving does now have number 6, which is awesome. Jamal Wilkes coming off the bench for that team. Kansas City is the 2 seed. Magic Johnson does have number 32 now because it's not technically retired anymore, which is awesome. Darryl Griffith, Eddie Johnson, Bill Robinson, and Michael Thompson, with David Thompson coming off the bench for the Kings. The 3 seed is Seattle. It's a very good Seattle team with Nate Archibald, George Gervin, Alex English, George McGinnis, and Moses Malone. It's a really good Seattle team. Utah is the 4 seed. Detroit is the 1 seed. So Larry Bird winning the MVP and also gets his team the number 1 seed with Sidney Moncrief, Ricky Green, Bill Lambier, Reggie Theus, Orlando Blackman, and Vinny Johnson. Washington is the number 2 seed. Jerry Sitchin, Paul Westphal, Scott Wedman, Spencer Haywood, and Artis Gilmore, with Dave Cowens coming off the bench. Boston's the 3 seed with Adrian Dantley and George Johnson. And New Jersey is the 4 seed with Isaiah Thomas, Tom Chambers, and Bill Cartwright. So on to round number 2. Portland, Golden State, New York, and Indiana have been eliminated. So has Houston, New Jersey, Kansas City. Oh my. Okay. Magic was just eliminated in round 1. Boston is also eliminated. They were the 3 seed. So everything's opened up here in the West. Even though they were the 2 seed, still losing in the first round to the LA Lakers. The Lakers have Fat Lever, Byron Scott, Billy Knight, Kiki Vandeweghe, the leading scorer of the league, and Kent Benson. So a huge upset where the Lakers take out Magic Johnson and the 2-time back-to-back defending NBA champions. The Clippers and Seattle, it opens it up for those 2 teams. And could Larry Bird get his first title? Let's see. On to round number 3, the conference finals. The Lakers have been eliminated. The Atlanta Hawks have been eliminated. The Utah Jazz are gone. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have been eliminated. So we've got the Clippers and Dr. J versus Seattle and Moses Malone and Alex English, George Gervin. It's a really good Seattle team. And we've got Detroit with Larry Bird taking on the Washington Bullets. The Bullets haven't been to the finals in 3 years, since 1981. Seattle hasn't been to the finals since 1980, where they won. And the Clippers haven't been to the finals since 1981, where they also won and beat the Washington Bullets. So on to the NBA Finals. Game 1. The Seattle Supersonics and the Detroit Pistons win Game 1. Game 2 goes to Seattle and Detroit. Game 3 goes to Seattle and Detroit. Oh my. And the Washington Bullets are swept by Larry Bird and the Pistons. And so are the San Diego Clippers, the 1 seed. Just got swept. So we have Detroit versus Seattle. Like I said, Seattle hasn't been to the finals since 1980 where they won. Kareem was the finals MVP. And Detroit hasn't been to the finals since, is that 1969? I think so. Yeah, where they lost to the Lakers and Rick Barry won finals MVP. The Pistons have never won a title. I don't believe. I may be wrong, but I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. They've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've lost 5. They're 0-5 in the finals. And yeah, that's crazy. I didn't realize that they were that bad in the finals. Yeesh. All right, so Larry Bird has a chance to get Detroit their first NBA title. Moses Malone has a chance to get his first NBA championship with English and George Gervin. So these are the starting fives. Let's see what happens here in game number 1. Seattle does have home court as Detroit has a 2-point lead after 1. It's tied at the half. Back and forth we go into the 4th quarter, but Seattle starts to kind of get away here with the lead as they're up by 7, up by 9, still up by 7 now. Yeah, I don't think Detroit has enough here. Seattle will win game 1, 124-118. Moses had 23 and 8. Nate Archibald had 22 and 11. English also with 22 and 11. Bird with 22, 11 and 9. 3 steals was not enough. So on to game number 2. Once again in Seattle, Detroit with an early lead, 27-20. And now at the half, Seattle has taken the lead. Back and forth we go. Seattle's now taking a 6-point lead. Into the 4th quarter, Seattle up by 7. A minute to go, up by 5, up by 3. All right, there's a chance. Let's jump in. Seattle with the ball. They're up by 3 here in the 4th with a minute to go. Over to Archibald, back to George Gervin. Gervin gets stuck in the paint here, has to hand it off to Archibald. Over to English. And English gets a screen, mid-range jumper. Good, Alex English, a tough shot. And he hits the mid-range jumper. And that gives Seattle a 5-point lead. Can Larry Bird lead a comeback here with 52 seconds to go? Seattle will now, Detroit will now pass it in. Ball into Ricky Green, and they're going to call another timeout. Oh boy. Down by 5, though. I mean, a quick bucket, and I think you're fine if you can get a stop. Man, if you can get an open 3, though. Obviously, Larry Bird is a great 3-point shooter. Maybe if he can get an open look, they can get this thing within 2. Ball into Green, and they call another timeout. This game is so painful. It is so painful. All right. What do we do here if you're Detroit, right? I think if there's an open 3, I think you take it, but I think you drive to the rim and try to get this thing to a 3-point game. Detroit will pass it in. This time to Reggie Theus, over to Bird. Bird kicks it back out to Green. And Ricky Green drives, kicks it back out to Moncrief. They got to hurry. They're wasting a lot of time. Now into the post to Larry Bird. Bird, turnaround hook shot. Good. 36 seconds to go. Detroit needs a stop here. Archibald will bring it up. 30 seconds to go in this game. Seattle holding on to it into the post to Edwards, and it's good. What a shot by James Edwards. And Seattle will take a 5-point lead with 23 seconds to go. Well, now if you're Detroit, you need a 3. They just could not get a stop there down the stretch. English with the mid-range jumper, and then Edwards with a tough bucket to make this thing a 5-point lead. Over to Green. Green driving, gets it to Bird. Bird lays it up, and no good, gets his own rebound. Back to Elmore, and Elmore will put it in, but 13 seconds to go. It's a 3-point game. Detroit's going to have to foul, and they do. Larry Bird with 22 and 9 in this game. As George Gervin, 2 at the free throw line. He has 14 points. And he hits the first. The second is up and good. So a 5-point lead once again for Seattle. Detroit will pass it into Green. And Green will take a 3. No good, and that will do it. Seattle will take game 2 here in the 1984 NBA Finals. They'll take a 2-0 series lead, and we'll head back to Detroit for game number 3. On to game number 3 here, where Detroit does have, or is at home. I don't know what that was. That was kind of English. Anyways, Detroit down by 1 with a minute to go here in the half, and they will be down by 3 at the half. Into the third quarter, Detroit has now taken the lead, and down to 4 minutes ago, they have a 9-point lead. 2 minutes ago, they have an 11-point lead, and that will do it. Detroit does take game 3. They avoid going down 0-3. Bird with 27, 6 boards, and 12 assists. Green with 26 and 5. Theus with 26 and 8. Moncrief with 24 and 8. Moses Malone with 24 and 8. English with 22, 7, and 10. So on to game number 4 once again in Detroit. The Pistons with a 5-point lead in the first. At the half, they have a 16-point lead. Down to 9 as we enter the fourth quarter, though. A minute to go. Still a 9-point game. 11-point game. 10-point game. And I think that's going to do it. Detroit will tie up this series. 128-116 is the final score. Larry Bird, triple-double. 33, 11, and 10. 2 steals and 2 blocks. Theus had 26. Green had 26. And Larry Bird has dominated here in games 3 and 4 at home. So on to game 5 as we head back to Seattle. After 1, Detroit with the 6-point lead. At the half, they have a 5-point lead. And now into the third, Seattle has taken the lead here. And as we go back and forth in the fourth quarter, down to a minute to go, it's a 7-point lead for Seattle, and that's going to do it. Seattle will take game 5, 118-110. Bird with 28, 11, and 7. 33 and 7 for Moses. McGinnis with 21, 17, and 6. A big game for him. And Detroit is now down at 3-2 in this series. On to game number 6, back to Detroit. So far, every home team has won in this series. Into quarter number 4 here, the Pistons with a 9-point lead. Down to 2 minutes ago, it's an 8-point lead. And now a 12-point lead. So more of the same. 115-105. Bird with 25, 8, and 14. 3 steals. Reggie Theus with 18 and 8. Green with 17 and 12. Blackman with 17. 30 for George Gervin. 16 and 7 for Moses Malone. And we have our first Game 7 since 1952. Is that right? It is. The first Game 7 since the third NBA season in 1952, where in the first 3 seasons we had 2 Game 7s. The other season, it was a 6-game series. Since then, there's been so many sweeps, so many series to end in 5, and we have finally gotten a Game 7 here between the Detroit Pistons and the Seattle Supersonics. Here we go on to a game number 7 in Seattle. Detroit with an early lead, 35-25 after 1, and now a 17-point lead in the third quarter. Oh my, here comes Seattle though. They win the third by 10 to cut the lead to 7, and now Detroit up by 9. Down to 3 minutes ago, it's 115-105. A minute and 23 to go, 117-107. My goodness. I think Detroit's going to win this thing. Detroit's going to win this thing. 2-1, and that will do it. The Detroit Pistons are NBA champions for the first time in franchise history. They win Game 7 on the road in Seattle, and Larry Bird gets his first NBA championship. By the way, he won regular season MVP. That is now 3 straight years where the MVP of the regular season won the finals MVP. So, an interesting note there. Seattle does lose. Moses Malone still hasn't won his title, but Larry Bird gets his. As the Pistons hoist up the Larry O'Brien Trophy. And we'll see who wins the Finals MVP. Do they show who? They do. Okay. Larry Bird is your Finals MVP. Wow. All right. So the last 3 MVPs, Finals MVPs, have been Magic twice and Larry Bird. I think we're in the Magic versus Bird era. So Detroit wins their first title. Bird in this series, 27-9-9, 2 steals. He was incredible. He shot 100% from 3. Are you kidding me? What? In 7 games? How many? Okay, how many threes did he actually take? He took 1 in game. I mean, I guess they're not taking a lot of threes, but still, 1 in game 1, none in game 2. In game 3, he didn't take any, none in game 4. Okay, so he took 1 3. Okay. Well, that's why. But still, a hell of a series for Larry Bird as he wins his first Finals MVP. Oh, just a quick note, because I was looking through, I was wondering, Bernard King did get injured and a torn left bicep, out for the season. That's why Kansas City lost in round 1. Man, that's a tough injury for the Kings. That is real. I was like, wait a minute. I don't remember seeing Bernard King. Yeah, that's tough. Huh? I mean, can't win 3 in a row, unfortunately, but hey, maybe they can win 3 and 4. That's a tough injury for them. On to retirements. Wes Unseld retires from the Kings. Steve Mix retires. Austin Carr retires, and George Johnson retires. No Hall of Famers. The Hall of Fame stuff is gonna be really weird because of, you know, it's a whole different file. So this is thinking of, you know, actual history and what happened. So if you guys want to see kind of just a general idea of what's happened, in the description down below, I do have that Google Sheets link where you can click on it. It'll show you every single MVP, every single Finals MVP, champion, all that, scoring title, defensive player of the year, 6th man of the year, rookie of the year. So if you do want to keep up with that, in the description down below, I do have a link to that. On to the lottery, where 2 teams will have a 50% chance of getting the #1 overall pick, and it's Dallas in both years. So when I was changing everything, I did also trade picks, at least for this year, not for the following year, but for this year. So you're gonna see some trades. It's not perfect, but it's as close as I could get it. And apparently Philly, I don't remember this, but Philly got Dallas's pick. Okay, so the Philadelphia 76ers are going to have the 1st and 2nd overall pick. Oh my. This is the draft where you want the 1st and 2nd overall pick. We're going to get one of the craziest duos in NBA history. Now, does Philly think that Michael Jordan is the top 2 player in this draft? Because in real life, it went Hakeem, Sam Bowie, Michael. In this, Sam Bowie's probably a lower rated in the draft class. So it could be Barkley, though. Could be Stockton. We shall see. But the Sixers just got the top 2 picks in the NBA draft, and it was a hell of a time to get the top 2 picks. So let's go to the 1984 NBA draft, and the #1 overall pick made by the Philadelphia 76ers via Dallas will be Hakeem Olajuwon. So Hakeem goes #1, and with the 2nd overall pick, don't blow this, Philly. I mean, even if they take Barkley, it's still a damn good duo. But like, yeah, they take Mike. Oh my God, we got a Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan team up. That is ridiculous. With the 3rd overall pick, Milwaukee will take Alvin Robertson. And at 4, Denver will take John Stockton. Barkley is drafted by the Phoenix Suns, which, you know, he ended up going to in real life. Not drafted to Phoenix. He was drafted by Philly. But Barkley goes to Phoenix. With the 6th overall pick, the Chicago Bulls select Kevin Willis. At 7, San Antonio takes Oscar Schmidt. At 8, Portland takes Jerome Kersey. At 9, Houston takes Sam Perkins. And at 10, Indiana will take Vern Fleming. Ironically enough, Sam Bowie ended up going to Dallas. So they had somebody else's pick, and they took Sam Bowie. Well, Okay, then. On to free agency. We have a bunch of players that haven't signed. There's, oh man, I might have to turn off the salary cap, guys. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below how I should handle the salary cap, because I don't want these guys just sitting in free agency. Players that have signed, though, Mike Mitchell is headed to, or staying with Chicago. Lanier is on to, no, he stays in Utah. David Thompson stays in Kansas City. Ray Williams to the Warriors. Tom Janovich to the Knicks. The Nuggets signed George McGinnis. The Rockets signed Barry Carroll to pair with Charles Barkley. So, yeah, let me know in the comments below how you guys think I should handle the salaries. Larry Bird wins back-to-back regular season MVPs. 23 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists, 2 steals, and a block, shooting 50, 40, 90. He's really good. Michael Jordan wins Rookie of the Year. 33, 6, and 5, 2 steals, and a block, shooting 56% from the field with the 76ers. My goodness. How did Akeem do? Akeem averaged 22 and 10. 2 point. This team is going to be ridiculous, man. That team's going to be absurd. Stockton averaged 9 and nearly 10 assists for Denver. Robinson averaged 13 and 2. Sam Perkins averaged 6 and 5. Barkley averaged only 11 and 8. So not a great year for Barkley, but he started every game. Huh. Okay. I mean, that might be, I mean, there is some talent, I think, on that Phoenix team, right? They have Ralph Sampson as well. So there's a lot of talent on that team. But there's the rookies. Michael Jordan, just incredible. 33 a game. Jamal Wilkes is your 6th man of the year again. That's a lot of 6th man of the year awards. That's 6 in 8 years. Pretty impressive. English with 27 and 7. He wins the DPOY, 1.5 steals and 1.5 blocks. Interesting. Clark Kellogg wins most improved, 19, 10, and 5. And then the Pistons have the coach of the year after winning the NBA Finals. All NBA first team, Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Dr. J, and Jack Sikma. All NBA second team, Walter Davis, Isaiah Thomas, averaging 22 and 9. Alex English, Marcus Johnson, and Moses Malone. All NBA third team, we got Ray Williams, Pat Lever, Larry Cummings, Kiki Vandeweghe, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. All defensive first team, we got Michael Ray Richardson, Magic Johnson, Alex English, Larry Bird, and Moses Malone. All defensive second team, Fat Lever, Sidney Moncrief, Julius Erving, Truck Robinson, and Robert Parrish. Here's your all-rookie first team and your all-rookie second team, Sam Bowie, averaging 7 and 6 per game. Michael Jordan led the league in scoring. Kiki Vandeweghe was second. Mark Aguirre was third. Robert Parrish led the league in rebounds per game, and Norm Nixon led the league in assists per game. Michael Ray Richardson led the league in steals. Artis Gilmore led the league in blocks. Elijah was second. And on to the playoffs. Seattle, once again, the number 1 seed. Ooh, Kansas City is the 4 seed. Wow. Yeesh, okay. David Thompson's getting worse. Detroit is the number 1 seed in the East. New Jersey with Isaiah is the number 2 seed with the Nets. I do not see the 76ers, so they did not make the playoffs. So on to round 2. And the Bullets, Pacers, Bulls, Suns, Kings, Warriors, Hawks, Rockets are all eliminated. So Magic and the Kings do not get past round 1 for a second straight year. Detroit, New Jersey, Boston, and Cleveland move on. Seattle and LA with Utah and the Clippers on the other side. On to the conference finals. Cleveland, the Lakers, Utah, New Jersey are all eliminated. So we've got Seattle versus the Clippers and Detroit versus Boston. I'll go ahead and show you guys the starting lineups here. For Seattle, you got Jeff Houston, George Gervin, Alex English, Kenny Carr, and Moses Malone. For the Clippers, Norm Nixon will be free, Julius Erving, Rick Mahorn, and Bob McAdoo, who's down to an 83 overall at 33 years old. For Detroit, you got Ricky Green, Sidney Moncrief, Mike McGee, Larry Bird, and Bill Lambier with Reggie Theus, and Orlando Blackman coming off the bench, and Nate Archibald. For Boston, you got Sleepy Floyd, John Long, Adrian Dantley, Rory White, and Alvin Adams with George Johnson coming off the bench. Game 1, it goes to the Clippers and Boston. Game 2 goes to Seattle and Detroit. Game 3 goes to the Clippers and Boston. Game 4, Detroit's down 3-1 to the Boston Celtics. Seattle has tied up the series at 2. The Detroit Pistons are eliminated. Bird cannot get back to the finals. Seattle has taken a 3-2 lead, and they defeat the Clippers to take or to move on to the NBA Finals for a second straight year. So we've got Boston and Seattle. Adrian Dantley, Alvin Adams, Rory White, John Long, and Sleepy Floyd. That's your starting five for Boston. For Seattle is Jeff Houston, George Gervin, Alex English, Kenny Carr, and Moses Malone. Can Seattle get redemption from last year where they lost in 7 to the Detroit Pistons? Seattle has a 1-point lead at home, now a 4-point lead at the half. Boston has come back to take the lead, though. It's a 5-point game with a minute to go, a 7-point game. That's going to do it. The Boston Celtics take home court. They win game 1, 111-104. Moses had 27 and 12. Gervin had 26. English had 25. Dantley had 35, 9, and 11. Adrian Dantley is going on a crazy run right now. Game number 2 in Seattle. After one, Boston with a 2-point lead, but Seattle has a massive second quarter, and they're holding on to that lead here. Lead it by 8. 2.5 minutes ago, they lead it by 10. And yeah, that'll do it. The Seattle Supersonics take game 2, 125-116. George Gervin had 27 and 10. Moses had 19 and 9. Dantley had 39. Was not enough, though. On to game 3 in Boston. Seattle with a 11-point lead in the first quarter. Now they lead it by 20. Now 27. And they're going to, wow, they blew out Boston. 129-97. English with 36, 10, and 7. 3 steals. Malone 23 and 11. George Gervin had 22 and 8. Dantley finally had a bad game. Long had 36, was not enough. On to game number 4. Seattle once again with an early lead. They lead it by 7 after 1, by 10 at the half. And yeah, they're going to go ahead and win by double digits again. 137-124. Moses with 27, 13, and 6. George Gervin with 24. Petrie with 19 and 10. English with 15. And Seattle has taken a 3-1 series lead. Headed back to Seattle for game number 5. They're up by 5 after 1. Down by 5 at the half. Boston has taken a 12-point lead. And now with 2 minutes to go, they're down by, or they're only up by 2 now. It's all tied up with a minute and 37, tied at 95. Let's jump in. Rory White is at the free throw line, and he misses the first. So the second is up and no good. So we're still tied here with Seattle having the ball. Seattle, nice pass to Edwards, who will dunk it. 97-95, a minute and 28 to go. Seattle with 34 team assists. Boston with only 25. And there's a 3 that is no good. It rimmed in and out. English has it. English driving right, and he gets fouled. So Alex English to the line here with a minute and 12 seconds to go. English, first is good. Second free throw for Alex English, and it is up and good. So Seattle has now taken a 4-point lead, 99-95. Boston with it. Running some time down. Dantley for 3. That's good. Adrian Dantley. This dude is unbelievable right now. English will bring it up. Seattle up by 1. Here goes English. Nice pass to George Gervin with the dunk. A 3-point lead for Seattle. George Gervin with 20 and 7 so far, and Boston will call a timeout. So Seattle has a 3-point lead here with 50 seconds to go. But man, Adrian Dantley has been on fire in this game. Can he hit another one? Johnson will pass it in. And he will get it to Long, and they'll call another timeout. They're probably going to call another timeout after this because they still have 3 timeouts. This game is brutal. So a 3-point lead for Seattle here with 50 seconds to go. They lost to Game 7 a year ago at home. Floyd with it. He gets a screen. He'll hold on to it here. 44 seconds to go now. Over to Dantley. Same play for 3. Good! Adrian Dantley. He can't miss. It was the same exact play that Boston ran, and it gave Dantley another wide open 3. So 40 seconds to go, and Seattle will pass it in here. What a shot by Adrian Dantley. So Seattle will pass it in, and he gets it to George Gervin, over to Houston. Gets it to Moses. Gervin will get it to Houston again, over to English in the post. English will pump fake, and he'll back. No, he'll take a shot, and that's no good. Great defense by Adrian Dantley. Dantley passes it up to White, over to Floyd. Sleepy Floyd. With 16 seconds to go, 15, 14. He's going to run the clock all the way down here. 10 seconds to go. Floyd with it. Now 7 seconds. Gets a screen. Floyd, get the ball to Adrian Dantley. He has it for 3. Oh, he missed it at the buzzer. Oh, no, they called a timeout. There's still some time. Adrian Dantley had another good look, but he couldn't hit that one. So Seattle, with barely any time here, they'll call a timeout. I don't think they're going to have time to actually get a shot off, but we'll see. Edwards will pass it in to English. No good, and we'll have overtime. Back in the Simcast here for overtime. And we're going back and forth here. 2 minutes to go. Seattle with a 2-point lead. 1:25 to go. Now Boston has a lead, and we're tied. And now Boston has a lead again. Okay, a minute to go. Let's jump in. Here we go. Boston with a 1:15-1:13 lead. And they have the ball with a minute to go. So Johnson will pass it in. He gets it to White, over to Floyd. They're running a pick here for Dantley. He has it again. Dantley won't take a 3 there. 48 seconds to go. Dantley over to Long. Long mid-range jumper. Good. A 4-point lead for the Boston Celtics. They do not want to go home here. Seattle with another chance at winning the series. They had 2 opportunities last year, lost both. And now this year, with a chance to win the title, and they're down by 4 here in overtime. 45 seconds to go. Edwards will pass it in. He gets it into English. 42 seconds to go. Houston back to English. English will lay it up and got it. 117-115 now is the score. 37 seconds to go. Boston will bring it up. 32 seconds. Who do you guys think is taking the shot here? Oh, it's White. Good. That's a tough shot. But White was able to hit it. 119-115 is the score, where Boston will take a 4-point lead with 27 seconds to go. Out of the timeout here, Edwards will pass it in once again. They need a quick bucket here. And probably a 3. Malone back to Houston. Mid-range jumper. No good. Dantley with the rebound. And that will do it. Adrian Dantley with an unbelievable performance here in game number 5. And the Boston Celtics will go back home in game 6 to have a chance to force a game 7. Adrian Dantley had 33, 5, and 10 and went 2 for 3 from 3. 28 for Floyd and 9 assists. He was awesome as well. On to game 6, though, in Boston. Can Seattle finally win their ring? Now 3 minutes ago, they're up by 1 into the 4th quarter. Boston has a lead, up by 4. A minute to go, they're up by 3. It's a 1-point game. We're jumping in again. Boston up by 1, and they have the ball. Johnson will pass it in. He lobs it over to Dantley, gets it back to Floyd. And Floyd driving. Nope, gets stuck there in the paint, gives it to Johnson. Back to Dantley. Ooh, Dantley's a little injured. Dantley drives left. He looks fine to me. Lays it up and in, and Adrian Dantley gives Boston a 3-point lead. George Gervin has 28. Long has 24. Seattle will bring it up. English. Nowhere to go for English. He's not passing it. 44 seconds to go. They're down by 3. great defense by Boston here. 4 on the shot clock now, and English just, oh, he gets fouled. That's a bailout. That was horrible offense from Alex English, and he got bailed out. He's going to the free throw line, 20 points, 5 rebounds. The first is good. I can't believe that call. That was, I don't know. I thought he was out of bounds. English will hit both. He has 22 points. Long will bring it up for Boston. They're up by 1, 35 seconds to go. Long guarded by Petrie. And he'll hold on to it here. 12 on the shot clock. And Long will dump it off to Adams. Adams, no, he missed it. Got the rebound. And Seattle will have to foul. A missed opportunity there for Seattle. They couldn't grab the rebound. Alvin Adams to the free throw line, and he hits the first. The second is up and good. So a 3-point lead once again here for Boston. Man. 20 seconds to go. Seattle just can't seem to win a closeout game. They might go down to 0-3 in closeout games, right? Or no, 0-4. They had 2 chances last year, I believe, right? Yeah, they had 2 chances. English has it. And English, he's going to have to put up a tough shot. He does, and he hits. 24 for English. It's a 1-point game with 13 seconds to go. And they'll go ahead and foul. So Jeff Petrie to the free throw line. Or, sorry, not Petrie. Long to the free throw line. Petrie did foul. And Long hits the first. The second is up and good. So another timeout here. 131-128 is the score with 12 seconds to go. Does Seattle just try to hit a 3 to tie it? If not, hey, let's go home and for Game 7. But they did lose a year ago in Game 7 to Larry Bird and the Pistons. Seattle will pass it in. Carr gets it to Houston. Houston gets a screen. And nowhere really to go. Good defense by Boston. A 3 from English. No good. Johnson with the rebound, and that will do it. Boston has come back from a 3-1 deficit, and they have forced a Game 7. Wow. On to Game 7 in Seattle. Seattle was in this exact position a year ago and lost to Larry Bird and the Pistons. It's a close game. 9 minutes to go. Score tied at 89. Down to 3 minutes ago. We're still tied. Down to 2 minutes. A minute and 40. 104-103. Let's jump in. 106-101 is the score here with a minute and 23. George Gervin with the ball, and he has it stripped. Dantley with the steal. Adrian Dantley lays it up and in. What a collapse. What a collapse by Seattle. 2 straight years. George Gervin has it, and no foul there. Johnson with the rebound. Dantley has it. Oh my goodness. We've never had a 3-1 deficit come back in the finals. Yeah, I don't see it in the notes. Wow. To be fair, there's only been like 2 Game 7s. That jumper's good. It's over. What a collapse by the Seattle Supersonics. They were up 3-2 a year ago in Detroit. Lost Game 6 and 7 at home. And now this year, up 3-1 at home in Game 5. They lose. They were up in Game 6. They lost. Unbelievable. And now at home in Game 7, they're going to head to the free throw line here with 32 seconds to go. George Gervin with 27 and 3. Free throws up and good. What a collapse by Seattle. Second is good. 32 seconds to go. I mean, they're going to have to foul. No, maybe not. Floyd will have it. And they'll just hold on to it. I think Seattle gave up. This thing's over. Wow. What a series, man. The first 3-1 comeback in NBA Finals history. Jumper there is no good. Malone with the rebound. Malone still does not have a championship, by the way. Over to Gervin for 3, no good. And that will do it. The Boston Celtics are NBA champions. Wow. A 3-1 series deficit. And they win the 1985 NBA Finals to win their 4th NBA title in franchise history. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Seattle has lost back-to-back NBA Finals in 7 games. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. We all know who the Finals MVP is, man. That Game 5 by Adrian Dantley was legendary. Absolutely just incredible performance by Adrian Dantley in this series. And he's your Finals MVP. Wow. I cannot believe what I just watched. Adrian Dantley is your Finals MVP. Holy moly. He had 33, 9, and 10, and 4 steals in Game 7 on the road. Wow. English had 4 points. Did he get hurt? Ooh, English might have gotten hurt. He only played 17 minutes. No, he fouled out in 17 minutes. Goodness gracious. Wow. What a performance by Adrian Dantley. I mean, he deserved that one. He beat the defending champs in 5 and now wins a Game 7 after being down 3-1. 29 a game, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, an all-time performance by Adrian Dantley in the 1985 NBA Finals. We will remember that one forever. That was incredible. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That like button if you did. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. What are your expectations for Hakeem Olajuwon and Michael Jordan in Philly on the same team? Also, they got Michael Cooper. And I'm curious real quick because they did not make the playoffs. How bad were they? Let's see. The Pistons had the best record. Seattle had the second best record. Where was... Wow, Boston was 44 and 38. Oh, my God. That's right. They were a 6 seed. That's an all-time run. Like, English... Or not English. Adrian Dantley might be like a top 10 player of all time just from that. He's never won a regular season MVP. He's led the league in scoring 3 times from 81 to 83. He was Rookie of the Year in 77. That's an all-time run by Adrian Dantley. That's incredible. Philly had the 3rd worst record. Dallas had the 2nd worst record. Milwaukee with the worst record. So Philly's going to have a top 3 pick. Wow. So yeah, a top 3 pick to join Mike and Hakeem. Philly's going to be a problem. Yeah, Philly's going to be a big problem as we go. But what are your guys' expectations for him? What are you guys' expectations for Bird and Magic? Bird has 1, Magic has 2. Right? Bird has 2 regular season MVPs. Magic has 2. And what do you guys think about Adrian Dantley's run and Seattle's collapse? I mean, that's 2 straight years, man. 2 straight years where they had a Game 7 at home and they lost. And this one was even worse because they had a Game 5 to win the title. And they were up. And Dantley just killed them. Unbelievable. That game, I can't get over that Game 5. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That like button if you did. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the year 1985.